All right, and here we go with golden goal number 4 with the 93rd minute. I'm here with our usual panelists. You guys all know them, but I know them as Kyle, Sean, and Steve. Let's start with you, Steve. What's your intro for the day?
My intro for today is first off, go USA. John Brooks deserved that goal. Mix this Screws to be the next guy to come off the bench to score a game winner. And Forza Sodi.
Sean, let's go with you.
I'm going to start off, and if I win, I can expand on this. I just realized that I really hate when goalkeepers announce games.
Okay, all right. I don't know
Playoff
if
shit messing.
is that a dig at Tim Howard or a dig at Casey Keller or both?
Both. Both.
All right,
I understand P.T. Keller. Shut messing is the man.
all right. And our New York compadre.
USA, USA, USA. Is there anything else to say, guys?
I'd be wearing my U.S. jersey if it wasn't covered in beer.
No excuse. No excuse.
All right, that's Kyle Williams. I'm Justin Kale, and all I have to say is Belgium's still going to win it all. There's no doubt in my mind.
You gotta get
All
off
right.
the dark horse, man. I'm gonna fall off.
All right, so it's been a little while since we've had a hangout, a little while since we talked about things. We're just going to go with opening ceremonies. Obviously, they're always one of the most interesting and distractingly disturbing things in a World Cup. What was the most disturbing piece for you guys? We'll start with you, Kyle.
Well, I only caught the bits and pieces of it, but I thought Pitbull's outfit was a little disturbing. You know, short white capris is not what I would have expected from Mr. 305, but you know he does his thing, and I didn't really care for it much. The games have been what I've been watching.
All right, respectable there. What about you, Sean?
Well, sorry, mine cut out. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how Pitbull is still a celebrity. I don't really know what he does at all. So, and also, I didn't know Jennifer Lopez was Brazilian. Is she Brazilian, or is that just because she's Latin that she gets to sing at the games? I was confused by that.
Dude, she's Jenny from the block. She's from New York, bro.
All right, and Steve.
I was a bit confused by Pitbull's mom. She was wearing something smaller than Jenny from the block. Don't exactly see that every day. And also, I'm pretty sure Pitbull now pays Bud Light to sponsor him.
Just keep me relevant, please.
Yeah,
Relevant.
No wonder he couldn't afford pants. He can only afford capris now after he's paying Bud Light his salary.
I think that was just a flag that was about to be painted for Brazil. He just wrapped it around his pants and said, "Yep, that's it. Staples, let's go."
All right, all right. I didn't announce this before, but we're doing points again today, and I think round one goes to Steve. I agree. I think that Pitbull's mom had a little something going on, a little bit surprising in a way. None of you guys mentioned the trees. I think the trees were the weirdest part of the entire thing. That would have been a winner right away.
Yeah.
But we'll move on with there. We'll go with the real thing. We'll go into the soccer here. I think one of the biggest talking points of the tournament, without a doubt, is the Brazilian national team. You're used to them dominating games, them being an attacking side for 90 minutes with teams unable to breathe. And right now, I think they're looking a little bit vulnerable. What do you guys think? Let's start with you, Kyle.
Yeah, I totally agree, Justin. Surprisingly, they had 3 goals the first game, but the Croatian keeper did them a lot of favors.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't score today, and I know Ochoa played well, but for me, they've lacked a lot of creativity up front. They're relying a lot on Neymar and Oscar to create and just moments of brilliance to get goals. I don't know if that's going to work for them. I don't love Fred. I don't love Joe. I don't like their non-creative names. I think if you're Brazilian, you need to end with Dinho or Aldo, or you're not going to be that good. So I'm a little worried about them. I'm worried.
Well, they could use either of those guys in the team right now. They need them in the worst way. What do you think, Steve? What's the biggest problem with Brazil right now?
I think they're flat. That's it. They're flat. Thiago Moura is doing his best. I mean, he got a yellow card today for a professional foul on Javier Hernandez.
How do you miss that header today?
I don't know, his hair in his eyes. That's all I
Yeah,
saw.
what?
Get a haircut. But I also think that they lost to a guy who's still on steroids because Guillermo Ochoa made some superhuman saves today.
Mhm.
And as we know, he was suspended for the last World Cup because of substance abuse. So I'm wondering, maybe he's still doing that stuff. It's Mexico. Shit gets weird there. Excuse my language, but
That's okay. We're PG-13.
Otherwise,
We're allowed one of those per 50 minutes. Thanks, man, for ruining it 5 minutes in. All right. No, Ochoa was excellent. He had the game of his life. He even said it in his post-game interview that it was the game of his life, the best game of his career. I think we all would agree. Sean, what do you think? Is Mexico that good? Is Croatia that good? Or is Brazil just average?
I think Brazil's average. I mean, we know their troubles up top with Fred. I mean, they might as well just get a Nick, Greg, a James. Like that's it's pathetic up top. I know they're really missing out on Diego Costa. I mean, even though he's a little hobbled by injury, like he would have really given them a boost up top. They rely way too much on Neymar, and I think Croatia should have at least tied that game. I think Brazil is one PK away from being just having 2 points, which would have put them in a danger spot for them. Because I think Croatia had a better midfield than them. I think they relied too much on the creativity and brief spurts of creativity. They didn't really seem to control the ball. And then Ochoa, they could have won today. They should have won today. But I mean, you got to be able to break down a goalie. You got to put enough shots to beat him. And Shaw had a game of his life, but they still should have won.
Okay. So 10 seconds each. Does Brazil get out of the group? Why not? Sean, let's go. Start with you. You're on a roll.
Yeah, it's Brazil. I mean, they got 4 points already. The Croatia, Mexico, and Cameroon are going to fight to the death over the next. They're going to get out. And I think they're going to get first, but it's what they do the rest of the tournament that really matters now. After seeing today.
All right, Steve, what do you think?
I think this is a more complete team than they have in the past. It's actually more defensive minded than ever, and I think they're going to make it out of the group because it seems pretty tough to score on them.
Okay, Kyle.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll make it out. Home field advantage is huge for them. They still have a lot of talent. They have their easiest game left. So I see them get out of the group. I just worry about how they'll do in the knockout rounds.
All right. So round two. I hate to do this, but I'm giving the Italian Stallion a 2-0 lead. He's talking about defending. He's talking about the goalies having lights out performers. He's talking about Brazilians actually committing to defending. Now that's a rare thing, and I love it. All right. So Steve takes the 2-0 lead into round three. Let's go to what we were all doing last night. I mean, I know Sean was passed out, probably missed half the game. Steve was there, calm as ever, enjoying the United States defensive performance, and Kyle was crying probably when Josie pulled up lame. I think the entire U.S. nation was, so not just you, Kyle. But let's talk about the United States. They found a way to win the game. They found a way. Obviously, they came across with some injuries as well. What do you guys think this does for the United States for the rest of the tournament? Like, is Josie going to be all right? Does Clint Dempsey's nose affect him in a way that we haven't seen yet? Like, what will it be? Kyle, we'll start with you.
Well, it's an interesting game because obviously it's a huge win for the U.S. The goal was unbelievable. It was very gritty, but if we're going to be honest, the U.S. didn't play well for most of the game. They really were just sitting back and absorbing Ghana. And really in the second half, Ghana created a lot of chances, especially once Boateng came in. That being said, the 3 points now, especially coupled with Portugal's 4-goal loss, really bodes well for the U.S. If they get a draw versus Portugal, they're in very good shape to advance, and a win basically puts them through. So obviously I want to see them play better next round. I hope they could start connecting passes better, not just defend the whole game. And I'm interested to see how, with Josie being out, how the team's going to adapt without him.
All right. Sean, so Josie's out. Hamstring's done, shredded. He was useless anyway. Who's starting in front of him?
I mean, I was listening to some analytics today, and they were thinking, putting Dempsey up top, putting Zusi in the midfield, and doing that switch. I still like Johansson. I think they have to change up the formation. I said when he came in for Josie, he's not going to do well up there. They have to change their formation. but they were committed to just defending that first-minute goal, which I thought, I mean, it's better than they had for the U.S. because they just lapsed in the U.S. World Cup team where they just defended the entire time. They didn't even try. And then Michael Bradley had the worst game of his life. I mean, it didn't help things, but they definitely were trying to play defensive. So I think they should stick with an actual forward up top, Dempsey and Johansson. They got to switch it up so they don't rely on the target forward to hold up play, because if they do, Johansson's not going to work out. It's just going to hurt their team. They're going to resort to what they were doing against Ghana.
Okay. Steve, does Wondolowski have a shot of breaking into this team now that Josie's out of the picture?
Absolutely. I see him coming in. I see them starting Johansson and putting Zusi in the playmaking role, possibly in the Germany game, because I think they're going to want Clint Dempsey, top notch for Portugal. Hopefully they beat Portugal or come out with a win, or I'm sorry, with a tie, something positive in which they can possibly rest him so he can give his nose a rest, because I've had broken noses. It's tough to play, and I just played in goal. So I can't even think about what he's going to go through in the heat down there. But I see a lot of people who kind of ripped apart Jozy Altidore for not being able to score. They realize how important he is to the team, because he's a holding striker, and what that means is he's able to play with his back to the goal, which no one else on the team is going to be able to. So they're going to have to get a little more creative. I'm sorry, Sean, I couldn't hear you. You broke up. I don't know if you mentioned that or not. But I see Wando coming in late games, trying to make a spark with Mixed Discroot doing the same thing. I hope they don't start Discroot. I like him, but he's kind of like that Boateng, where he comes in and just wreaks havoc because he's just very, very nifty with his feet and just knows where to be at the right place, the right time. Besides that, Tim Howard had a heck of a game. He always gets beat near post. There's nothing you can do on that beautiful goal that they scored. It was bound to happen after all those shots going in. So.
Okay. I think the U.S. is an interesting place, being that their depth will finally be tested. I think that's always been a question for us. Maybe our first 11, first 12 are okay, but those next three, what are they going to do for us? How are they going to carry us through? Especially, against Portugal, who's coming off a loss that, could they fold? Yeah, but they won't. They won't. They're too professional to do that. They're going to come with fire, and we got to be able to handle it. And we'll see. We'll see. Speaking of that, let's talk about the Golden Boot here for a minute. Based on what you've seen the first few days here, I know some teams haven't played yet, but who's your Golden Boot winner and why? Kyle, let's go.
It's got to be Muller from Germany. I wish I would have put some money on him. I mean, he's going to play that false nine for Germany. They're going to score a lot of goals. They've scored 20 goals in their last 4 games. They're a machine. I really like the way they played versus Portugal. He's scrappy. He has a nose for goal in the box. So I think Germany's going to advance deep, which you need to do if you're going to win the Golden Boot. He won it last World Cup, so I've been really impressed by his play, his movement in the box, and I think he's going to find a lot of goals in that German system.
All right. I think that's a fan favorite right there, no question. Sean, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I like the pick of Thomas Mueller, but I'm going to go with one that I didn't think I was going to make in the beginning before this tournament started. And RVP looks like the RVP that we all know and love. That goal that he scored, where he basically looked like a dolphin jumping out of the water to head that in, was amazing. And I think he's got his touch right now. And when RVP has his touch, as we saw last season, not the one that just finished, the season before that, he can really become a dangerous goal scorer. And Netherlands looks a lot more dangerous than I thought they'd be. And I think he can get a bunch more goals, especially pick up a bunch against Australia. So I'll go with RVP as my dark horse.
All right, Steve, who do you have?
I know you guys are probably going to think I'm going to say Mario Balotelli, but he's going to come in second, and he's going to come in second to Sergio Aguero, with Argentina hopefully switching back to that, I believe it was a 4-3-3, in which they ended up having Messi score that goal. It's going to open up a slot. He plays like a false nine, then maybe they'll start Higuain next to them. They're going to create a lot of havoc between the three of them. So I see a lot of goals starting to happen for them. However, I also see them giving up a lot of goals too. So.
Interesting. It's rarely that you will ever say Italy's going to give up a lot of goals. Or Argentina's going to give up a lot of goals. Sorry. Yeah, I think you guys picked all three that could potentially win it. I'm surprised no one has Neymar on the list. Although Brazil can't score goals right now, you got to suspect that something's going to change within the next few games, and when they're out of the group, he'll be putting them in for fun. I'm going to take Sean. I'm going to give Sean the points on this one. I think RVP is flying. He's flying. Netherlands is flying. Robin's flying. All those guys are flying.
Yeah, how about Robin? I like Robin's chances better than RVP.
Yeah, so one of those guys is going to get it. I'm going to stick with that. The Liverpool jersey is pushing him over the top. He knew he's trying to play to my heart here, just like he's doing right there. So, well done, Sean. Okay, so we'll move on. We'll move on here. Talked about USA. Talked about Portugal. Talked about the Golden Boot. After this first week, after the games you've seen, who is the best team? Germany won 4-0. Everyone's probably on their bandwagon. But if you could not pick Germany to be the best team in this tournament right now, who would it be and why? Sean, start with you since you stole my heart.
I still like Argentina. I mean, I think they didn't have the best game, but I think Bosnia is a very talented team. They don't have a lot of international experience, so a lot of people don't know about them. But I think that it's a lot of first games are jumpy. Not every team has the best one. I think Spain's going to recover. I don't know if they'll recover enough, but he's got that goal in his belt, and he's just going to start rolling. And if they're playing well, they keep attacking well, and Lionel Messi starts to get his full steam ahead, he'll make a case that he's a better player than Cristiano with this World Cup, and Argentina will take home the title.
Speaking of that goalie score was something special.
Yep.
Yeah, that's classic Messi.
That is classic Messi. Combining, running across the team, playing off a guy's shin, then off the post and in. You see that stuff ahead of time when you're that good. So it's pretty good. Steve, what do you think?
It's a tough question because we're only one game in. I think the most surprising team to me was obviously the tie between Costa Rica and the Netherlands. I didn't think the Netherlands had anything in them because they might have a little monkey on the back going to play against Spain, and maybe Spain had their number, just the mentality thing. But they came out firing on all ends. I mean, Spain did create some chances, and I just forgot the goalie's name. It's not Courtois. Yeah, Courtois. No, he plays for Belgium. Sorry.
My boys.
Yeah, I don't even know the goalie's name. It was Stekelenburg's spot to lose, and he did terrible. But it's the Netherlands, and I think Costa Rica is going to be surprising, and Italy's going to have their hands full this weekend.
All right.
Steve, what did you think of CS in the Spain-Netherlands game?
I thought that he did well not to let it get too far out of hand. As much as I hate to say, he made some bad mistakes. However, he also made some great saves to keep it not going to 10-1 because it easily could have done that. Easily. He made 2 point-blank saves, I remember, on the 6-yard box, one on RVP, one on Arjen Robben, and which that's world-class. He still got it. But it's going to happen when you're rusty like that. You don't play every game. I think they should put in Pepe Reina.
Yes.
No, De Gea.
De Gea's he's too much of a wimp. Not going to happen. I see a Balotelli coming in and crushing De Gea.
De Gea certainly does look like a wimp. I will agree with you all in there. Kyle, who's your best team?
For me, and I think I mentioned them last podcast, not to toot my own horn, but it was France for me. I was extremely impressed by their demolition of Honduras. Benzema really looks strong leading that front line. They've got a lot of talent. I think I was very impressed by them. They look like no nonsense. Like they cleaned up all of their antics from last World Cup, and they're the type of team that they're built to make a deep run. And I was impressed by them the most.
Okay.
Kyle, they were down.
France.
Honduras was down.
Regardless of Honduras is down by 1, they're hacking the crap out of them, just like the Ghana was when they're frustrated against the U.S. So I hate to do it, but I got to give I agree with Kyle's comments on that because they really just kept their mouth shut and let the plane do it for them. And Paul Pogba probably lost his leg from that one incident where they both got yellow carded.
So obviously Kyle needs to get this point if everyone's agreeing with him right here. This is perfect. There it is. There it is. Kyle gets one.
See, what we
France.
do, Kyle, is we build you up and then we break you down after. That's it.
There it is.
Just like Italy in game 1.
Yeah, you're talking to English fans. Yeah.
All right, so we'll move on to a little bit of a preview of the games ahead. There are some interesting ones. You know, Netherlands coming off the demolition of Spain, facing an Australian side that you made it interesting in their first game. What do you think? Does Netherlands come out and put in a similar kind of performance and run away with it, or does Australia, surprise some people? Does Cahill find another header? Does something happen there? What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, well, Cahill did give some great head out there, so I mean he's always good for some great head during a game. But I think Australia is a fighting team. They're gonna be scrappy, and the Netherlands looked efficient. They looked crisp. They look like the team that is gonna. I hate and with RVP, like I said, firing on all cylinders. Robin, their defense didn't look as bad as I thought they would be. I really think Netherlands is going to destroy Australia.
All right. Did you guys see that guy Lecky on Australia?
Yeah, he was really impressive.
Listen, he was something different. Super athletic, young kid, could run for
motor.
Is that number 7?
I don't know. I don't know his number off the top of my head, but he can cause problems for the Netherlands backline. There's no question in my mind.
Yep.
But Kyle, what do you think about that tie?
About which one?
Netherlands and Australia, same one.
Yeah, I was with you. I was impressed with Australia. They didn't roll over at all in the first game. They really competed, and they gave Chile a tough test. Not to jump too much off topic, but I think tomorrow's game, Chile-Spain, is going to be the match of the opening round. Those two teams are dynamite, and Spain needs to win. And I think Spain's going to really show up. But, I think Netherlands, they already announced their lineup. They're switching. They're going to play a 4-3-3 tomorrow. So I think they're going to go out looking for goals. But I think Australia is capable with Cahill, some of their guys, to get on some crosses. So I expect them to put at least one in the net, but I think Netherlands will put 2 or 3 in.
Okay. All right. Steve, what's your thoughts? The Netherlands is your favorite team and the best team, so I assume they're going to win.
You know what? I think they're going to come out cocky as ever, and I think Australia is going to really punch them in the gut. I feel like Australia is going to play a little bit of Catenaccio and just kind of pack the box, and Timmy Cahill is going to release, and a guy like Lecky is going to just get some scrap goal. Because I mean, really, that was against Spain. It's just like you pump yourself up like all the teams are against Brazil. You want to crush the people you lost the World Cup to and the reigning world champs. So I see Australia coming out firing all cylinders, 2-1.
That's a brave and bold prediction, Steve. I will say that. I want to give you a point for it, but I can't. I think Australia has no chance. I think Netherlands comes out and picks up right where they started. Van Gaal will not let them forget that they're here on a mission. They're here on a job, and that job's to win the World Cup. And that means the next game they got to take care of business. RVP scores again. Robin scores again. They're both on 3, heading into the third game of the league. This one's going to go to Sean. I don't know why. It's got to be Liverpool still taking over. So
Also,
Sean's on 2. Steve's on 2. Kyle is on 1. The French comment's still probably the best one of the day, but I can only give you a point per round, so sorry about that.
How about this comment? Is Arjen Robben? I'm just thinking, is he what's that Brad Pitt guy who ages backwards?
Benjamin Button.
Yeah, right? I feel like, did you see that run he had when he just raced past, who was it, Ramos?
Guy's lightning. The guy looks like he's 45 years old. He's 30 and can run for days.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. That was the most impressive play of the first round for me.
But doesn't Benjamin Button die at the end of the movie? So are you saying Arjen Robben might die at the end of the World Cup?
He will die at the end of the World Cup.
Listen, while he lifts the trophy, that's it. It's over for him.
He'd be a baby at that point.
All right, so Kyle brought this up already. Another great game tomorrow. Actually, the best game tomorrow. I don't think there's any question there. Spain versus Chile, a huge game, and like you said, probably the match of the first round. Huge implications for either team. Spain needs to win. It's a must win for them. What do you think happens? Does Spain find a way and fall out of their old ways, or does Chile hang on? Alexis Sanchez has some magic and they win the game. I've started with Sean 6 times in a row, so we'll go with Kyle. Kyle, go ahead.
I can't be more excited for this game. The first storyline is, will Spain stick with Casillas? In my opinion, I thought he was terrible in game one. I thought the last 3 goals, he could have made a difference, or he made the wrong play in each of those goals. So I think they're going to make a change. I would personally go De Gea. But the cool thing about the game tomorrow is both teams are going to come out with attack-minded. Spain's going to look to take it. They need to take it to Chile, and Chile is going to press them all over the field and try and disrupt their tiki-taka. I'm the biggest Spain fanboy out there, so I think they're going to show their mettle and show they have 16 world champions on their team. They're all Champions League winners. I think they're going to come out and show them why they've won the last 3 major tournaments. But it's a damn tough team to play against. So I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but I think Spain will prevail 2-1 or 3-2.
Okay. Sean, sorry. What do you think?
I think Spain will come out a little tentative with this game because of the defensive errors that they made last time. I think a couple of their players look a little more over the hill than I thought they were, especially Xavi. Just got now going to some Arab team I've never heard of. So he's obviously, at least in Barcelona's mind, they don't think he has anymore. I think they have the chance to play a little more defensive-minded because they get the tie. Although they did give up a bunch of goals against the Netherlands, they do have the chance to beat up on Australia, whereas Chile has to go play the Netherlands. So I think I think Chile's the better team. Spain really, I took a lot for me to admit that they were not the team that I thought they would be. I thought Diego Costa would give them more than he has. So I think Chile sneaks by this one 2-1 with an Alexis Sanchez goal, and that's my prediction.
Okay. All right. Steve, last but not least, let's hear it.
I'm on the same boat as Sean. I think Fury Roja gets their fire put out by Smokey the Bear, which is Chile, Arturo Vidal Smokey. He's definitely going to come knocking for some goals, and I feel like Javi's knees are giving up on him. And just like Sean said, some guys look like they're over the hill, so you better be ready for some roster change-ups. Because I know Spain's going to come out firing. We all know that because they just got embarrassed. Last time that they gave up 6 goals was against Brazil in Brazil in the 1958 World Cup. So 1950 World Cup. So expect for a tough game with a lot of grit. I see a lot of red cards flying. I predict Ramos going crazy because Alexis Sanchez called his mother fat or something like that, pulling a Pepe Reina and headbutting him randomly and possibly blowing it for Spain. Hopefully not, because you don't like to see stupid things like that happen. I'll even admit it was sad to see Zidane do that in 2006, but Italy won because of it. So.
But was it sad to see Pepe do it?
No, it was awesome.
No, I think so. I think the whole world had a big sigh saying, thank you for getting him off the field.
Yeah.
He's as talented as he is, he's just a crazy person. He just doesn't know how to control himself.
Yeah, and that's the problem. He's been good all year until that moment, and that moment cost him and his team probably his chance at moving on in the World Cup.
Can I just have a quick retort, Justin?
Raise your hand, Kyle.
No, I just want to...
Raise it higher.
May I talk?
Mr. Kale, I have to go to the bathroom. I just want to say, don't forget, Spain lost the first game in the 2010 World Cup and went on to win the title.
Mm-hmm.
2, they're still the deepest, most talented roster at the tournament. They got their tactics wrong versus the Netherlands, and again, I think Casillas was at fault for a couple of those goals. They're still the reigning world. They're the reigning world champions. They're going to come out with vengeance on their mind tomorrow. I think they're going to put together a really fine performance.
Yeah, but they killed themselves with that goal differential. They may have lost the first game 2010 World Cup, but they didn't lose it 5-1. That really hurts them in a group that really is going to go down to goal differential at the end of the day. So I think, although they can recover, I think they really shot themselves in the foot with that. Another thing, am I the only one who would love to see, or actually hate to be in the same room, but love to see Pepe after a few beers? Imagine the beer muscles he gets. Probably all over the place.
Probably the nicest guy.
Pepe strikes me as a white wine drinker, maybe a little white Zin. Couple
Box of
Chardonnays.
wine. Box of wine.
Box of wine, yeah, slap in the back.
It's like Jungle Juice drinker. Everclear.
Yeah, him and
Oh,
Vinny
geez.
Jones, definitely with the rosé, the pink in the ear.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that one there was a lot of good points made. Sean, Kyle, great points. But I think Smokey the Bear, he's gonna take it. The original comment from Steve carries me over the top.
This is what it takes to win.
It
Cut-
stays
just-
in my head.
If this is what it takes to win, should we just decide soccer games by corner kicks?
Well, the thing is, he said
Maybe that
Chile's
did
gonna
happen
win.
in the U.S. game, just saying.
Yeah, it did. But he said Chile's gonna win 2-1. I see this. This could be a draw. This game could be 1-1. This game could be 0-0. It could be 2-2. But I think Steve's spot on with his analysis, which is contrary to usual. So I got to give him points when I can. All right. So we'll do that, and then we'll go to today. I don't know if you guys saw, but it was a pretty fun day, a fun game. Not for nothing, but Belgium found a way. They found a way to win. They looked like absolute second grade girls soccer for the first half, but after that, they figured it out and started to play at least half decent. Are they pulling a Brazil and just playing half-heartedly until they get to the next round, or are they just not that good? Be careful what you say, Sean.
Yeah, I think Belgium did start off a little slow. They didn't look like the team I thought they were, and then they really turned it on. That Fellaini was a really big spark plug off the bench. That was a beautiful header, and he's going to be very primed to do that throughout the group stages and later. He's just a perfect target in the box. I think they started to pick it up when they kind of realized, like, hey, we have to take these guys seriously. Algeria, as we know, is a tougher team than we might think, just because we don't really know much about them. They play in Africa, but I really think Belgium showed today that they're just building slowly, and they're really going to get up there. I thought their movement off the ball was superb once they got going, and they're going to annihilate this group, and especially with the way Russia played today and South Korea, I don't think they pose them any trouble for trying to take first place. And I think Belgium has a good shot of going forward, but they do not win the World Cup. Take that to the bank, Justin.
I think the biggest issue Belgium has is that when you're bringing on Fellaini as your best offensive substitution, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, they had Morales on the bench. They probably could have brought him on, but Fellaini did work out. Kyle, what do you think? What do you think about them? What are they like?
I'm not worried about them. As much as it pains me to admit it, I think they're extremely talented. I think they're going to make a pretty deep run in the tournament. As I said last podcast, they have the shortest travel in the first round. I think their group is a little bit on the easy side, so I think they're going to have 2 more games to sort of shake off the cobwebs, get a little of the rust and experience out. But like you said, they have Morales on the bench. Dries Mertens came in today, made a big impact. He was running like he had an incredible motor. You have Giannis on the bench. Mm-hmm. Just the sheer talent on that team is pretty impressive. I think they're gonna. They just need to. I think they're gonna be one of those teams that they warm into the tournament a little bit and get better each game as all their players get experience. So for me, I think they figured out Algeria in the second half. They showed their class. So I think they're gonna go far.
All right, Steve, you look disinterested. I love it.
That's because that's how interesting the game was in the first half today.
Hold on. Can I just make a comment about Algeria? They were defending within a 15-yard box. That was a la Italy right there.
Exactly. We were talking about that before. They were playing Catenaccio. Yeah. They were literally saying, our forwards are faster than your whole team, so we're going to stuff the middle, not let you score, and keep the game as jam-packed as possible. But that's also what caught them because on their own counterattacks, towards the second half, once Fellaini came in and Juice Martin started spreading the field, they kind of panicked and got away from their discipline. I see them being still the young team, not the youngest in the tournament. We all know that's Ghana, but experience-wise, I see them warming up and eventually dominating, just like Kyle said. They just basically got slapped around the first half by a team that's made it to the knockout stages. I think it was in 2010. That's who the U.S. beat, right? To go play in Ghana. Was Algeria?
Yeah, it was Algeria.
Right. So I mean, it's not regardless of whether or not you can pronounce the last names of any of those guys. They're still a disciplined team, not one to kind of toy around with, which is what I think happened. You know, they went in with a light head and said, you know what, it's just Algeria. We're very good. We're very talented. Don't get me wrong, they are, but I think they need to kind of suck it up and start playing like they mean it.
Okay. Well, Steve, you're definitely not getting points in that one. I think Kyle had some good points. The shortest travel, deep run, like the things he said last cast. So Kyle's going to take it. It's going to put him on 2. Steve's on 3. Sean is still stuck on RVP, and all alone on 1. All right. So
Sean has 2.
Sean has 2. Yeah.
Trying to steal this one?
I'm trying to take one away. Just let it go. Let it go, Steve.
Sepp Blatter.
Italians don't cheat. We never cheat. So.
All right. Sean on 2. Kyle on 2. Steve on 3. And we move on to a preview of another game down the road, a couple days, but still an important one for both groups. Uruguay and England. Luis Suarez says he's 100% fit. I mean, take that for what it is. He's said a lot of things. He's done a lot of things. He's been in people's ears, all that stuff. Been in people's arms. Who wins that game? And are they the next team out of the group, or is that the game to decide who gets out of the group? Steve, start with you.
That is the game to decide who gets out of the group. I think England showed some resilience against Italy. I was definitely messing my pants at some points because of Mr. Sterling's crazy runs. You know, that kid's got some talent on him, and he's a smart player. He knows where to be. He seems to be like the next school shark for England. He's going to be that go-to guy. We all know that Rooney is too muscly up top and too flimsy in the bottom to score goals because he had a couple wide open shots that, even though Sirigu was having an amazing day, should have been a tap home, and I thought was a sure win for England. But Uruguay's got a lot of holes. We all saw that against Costa Rica, a team that did give the U.S. a couple problems, but you know they're just surprising. It's a puzzling team. So I think Suarez on the field, if he comes on the field, gives them the jump, but not enough because England's offense is pretty potent, as we saw, giving Italy a really tough time towards the end. The only thing is they just have to watch the counterattacks, which is what Uruguay is very, very good at with the 3 boys they can have up top. Besides that, I think that England, if they do well, they can win this 2-1 and advance to the group.
All right. Sean, Liverpool, Gerrard, Captain God, Sturridge, Sterling. What do we have?
There was 5 Liverpool players in the starting lineup in England. I just wanted to point that out. But this Uruguay-England game is going to be the battle of the forwards in Liverpool, the Suarez, and I think I thought Uruguay had some holes, but I mean I thought they would come out swinging. They did have a tough qualifying. They did have to play a playoff just to get in, and now I can see why, because they just don't look like the Uruguay of 2010. I think Suarez is a good addition, but I think the problem was that just the defense and midfield. They didn't look like what they should be with all that talent. Mm-hmm. So, and I think England, they were affected by the weather. Italy even admitted that they were affected by the weather. It was a tough game, but with Raheem Sterling was making some great runs. Sturridge was playing well. Wayne Rooney, still don't think I think he deserves to get benched, but I mean they probably won't because the 3 Lions, are not going to take away one of their main Lions, so I put him on the bench. But I think England wins this game. I think that they they blow out the candle on Uruguay's World Cup group stage.
Well done. Well done. Kyle, Andre Pirlo, he said that Sterling was the only one he was worried about during the game they had the other day. Do you feel like Uruguay is feeling the same way right now, that they're most worried about him? And then who wins this game?
Yeah, no, that's a great point you bring up. I actually disagree with Sean and Steve. I wasn't impressed by England. And just to point out, those 5 Liverpool players started in a losing effort. Let's not forget that. But England, for me, Italy had the highest pass completion rate ever in a World Cup game. And the entire game I was watching, wondering when England was going to start pressing them and trying to turn them over. I thought England gave Italy way too much respect. They never pressured them. Pirlo had all day to play. If I was Italy, if I'm Uruguay, I'm not worried about anyone other than Sterling as well.
Mm-hmm.
England couldn't break down Italy at all. Italy was in a shell, but Sterling was the one guy who had flashes, who looked like he might be able to do it. I also wasn't impressed by Uruguay. Obviously, Costa Rica took it to them. For me, at this point, I think Costa Rica is the favorite to go out with Italy. So, I mean, England and Uruguay, the desperation there is going to make the game interesting. And they're both going to be going for that with everything for it. But another thing with England, I don't think their lineup is sorted out. There was all the issues with Rooney playing on the left. And Italy really had a field day on that right side. Leighton Baines looked really bad. Candreva was doing whatever he wanted. I just wasn't impressed by either of those teams. So I think Costa Rica is in the driver's seat to get out with Italy.
Okay. All right.
That Raheem Sterling, that showed a lot of for his first World Cup, he was attacking Pirlo like every opportunity he got because he knew Pirlo was just going to be able to blow by him. I thought that was really heads up. I mean, obviously I've been watching him all season. He's matured so much since last season. He is really the future of the England squad. They got to build around him.
I think he just knew that Pirlo has zero defensive responsibility in the Italian team.
Well,
That's true. Like Pirlo said it.
Yeah, he wasn't moving.
Pirlo said it himself. He'll allow anyone to run by him. He doesn't care. Everyone else is going to do the work. Once he has the ball, that's when the magic starts.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
what happens when they run by him. He gets to meet a certain Mr. Daniele De Rossi.
I'll tell you what, Steve. I was extremely impressed by Italy. The way they you could see why they've won 4 World Cups. Their tactics were unbelievable because they just sat in a shell once they took the lead, and England never threatened the entire game. They just passed side to side for hours, and they can never get in between the lines. They can never break them down.
There's an article I was reading, and they're saying that coaches like Prandelli, Marcello Lippi, before the 2010 World Cup, they're masterminds at preparation from the game, and they're masterminds at keeping discipline.
Yeah.
That's why they're able to do this, to form these shells, to do the perfect counterattack with 2 guys. It's kind of interesting to see what happens. And they have a younger group coming in that's a lot more talented up top than they've had in a while, I should say, between Balotelli, the Ciro Immobile, Lorenzo Insigne. They have a lot of young guys. And
no more Luca Toni?
No more Luca Toni. But, yeah, he's getting too old. He's 35, and even though he's 6'5", he can't really get back past the half line without being offsides. So,
all right. Well, the original question was who wins versus England, Uruguay. So I don't know. I think the one who stuck on that the most was Kyle. He talked about how England was going to falter. No, Sean. Kyle talked about how England was going to falter. Kyle's getting the point. Kyle's on 3, Sean's on 2, Steve on 3. He's been on 3 for a while. He's been struggling on the last few points. Last couple to go through right here. Like I said earlier, before I believe, the World Cup makes the uninteresting interesting. How is Italy versus Costa Rica a must-watch game? Who wins it? And does that team, I think, wins the group, but who wins it and why? Steve, start with you. Talk about the Italian side.
I apologize. You're going to have to repeat that because you kept going in and out. Connection lost.
I apologize. All I said was that the World Cup makes the uninteresting interesting. How is Italy versus Costa Rica a game we need to watch? Who wins
As a
it?
U.S.
Who wins
fan,
it and why? Who wins it and why?
as a U.S. fan, you want to root against Italy because it shows a CONCACAF team showing their colors, showing how strong this group can be from the western side of the world. Meaning, hopefully, in the future, the U.S. won't get screwed in all the picks because in the past few World Cups, they've pretty much had. Oh, that's a nice puppy. They pretty much had the groups of death to deal with. Um, as Italian fans, you cannot sit back on Costa Rica because if you lose this game, you're going to have to play against a Uruguay team that's going to be pretty pissed off. So um, I see Mario Balotelli scoring another goal like he does, probably ripping. But I see them sitting back again, testing to see what Costa Rica's got to offer. But I see them taking in the end 1-0.
Okay. All right. Sean, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I think that Italy wins the game. I think it's going to be a tough fought game. I think they're going to, but the way they played against England with the heat, and I hate to admit that I like the way they played, but they did play well. And I think Costa Rica, I got a little bit of an anti-CONCACAF bias, even though the U.S. plays in there. So I'm going to go with Italy. Let's see if they win 1-0, and then Costa Rica requests a redo because it's way too hot, and FIFA says we don't do redos, and the result stands.
All right. Kyle, what do you think?
2 reasons. One, Mario Balotelli. I mean, the guy's got a camouflage Lamborghini. He's one of the best strikers in the world, and you never know what he's going to do. So that's reason enough to watch. 2, I think Steve mentioned it, but CONCACAF. CONCACAF's had a great World Cup so far. We've only dropped 5 points in our 5 games. We own Africa right now. Mexico beat Cameroon. We beat Ghana. And Mexico also, they got the first ever point against Brazil at a World Cup from teams who aren't from Europe or South America. So that's also impressive. So that's why I'm watching tomorrow.
All right. And who wins?
I think Italy wins.
I think Italy wins. Okay. All right. I'm gonna give it to Sean. I think the redo of the summer compared with the snow is enough to carry me. I'm being way too easy tonight to the funny comments. So
Yeah, you got a couple drinks, Justin?
nah, one or 6, whatever it is. So we're all on 3. You guys are all on 3. We'll head
you
to
have
the
any of
last
that
round.
chocolate beer after Belgium won?
Yeah, I should have. That's what I should have been doing. That's for sure. But so last round here. What is your game to watch this week? You have to pick one and give me a quick preview. You have 30 seconds. I'm timing everything. I'll give you 4 seconds to think about it, so I'll count down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Sean, we'll start with you. What's your game to watch? Why?
I think the game to watch is something. I'm going to be biased, but the USA-Portugal game, I think it just got a lot more interesting. Fabio Coentrão went down. Hugo Almeida, who I don't think is one of the best strikers anyway, but he did lead them in qualifying goals, is down. They think he's out for 10 days. They lost Pepe. It's really going to fall on Cristiano Ronaldo, and I think that they really targeted DeMarcus Beasley last night, and they really kind of left Fabian Johnson without much to do. I think they may switch over Cristiano to that side, target Beasley, but I mean the U.S. has a chance to really become a little more offensive-minded with Coentrão out and Pepe out. So I think that's going to be the game to watch, and I think USA pulls it off. But that's speaking from the heart.
All right. Thank you. Kyle, what do you think?
For me, it's Croatia versus Mexico. That's going to decide that group, and that's an important game because they'll play the winner of Group B with Spain, Netherlands, Chile. But I really like both those teams. They're fun to watch. They both have really powerful midfields. And Cameroon's not going to get out of that group, so that's going to be third game in that group that'll decide it. So I'm looking forward to that game.
Oh, under the time. Well done. Steve, what do you think?
I think Switzerland, France. That game is going to be a thriller through to the neck, thriller to the end, and I think Switzerland steals another in the last minute, just like they did a couple of days ago.
Okay. And then who for you guys has been the best defense of the World Cup thus far? Steve, start with you.
Wow, that's a good question. Best defense of the World Cup thus far has to be Italy.
Of course it does. Of course it
That's
does.
a ball that you cannot crack. And they didn't even have the number one goalkeeper in. They had Salvatore Sirigu, who's the starter for PSG.
Yeah,
So,
he's starting for PSG. He can't be that bad, right?
No, not at all. But still, you don't have Buffon in, you get kind of scared.
Yeah, of course. All right. What do you think? Best defense.
Who did you ask?
Sean, go.
Oh, I didn't know. I never heard Sean. I think the best defense. Yeah, I hate to do it, but I'm gonna go with Italy. They looked really well organized in the back. They were up against a very, which I still think is a strong English attack, stronger than it's been. And they still held together. That one goal that Sturridge got was a beautiful goal, but they basically bypassed the entire defense and they caught it right on the back post. Yeah, I think Italy's the best defense so far. I gotta agree with Steve. I don't like to do it, but I got to.
Okay. All right. And Kyle, what do you think?
I hope the soccer gods don't strike me dead while I'm wearing this shirt, but I thought Mexico today versus Brazil was excellent. I mean, Ochoa it started with him, but to keep Brazil off the score sheet in Brazil is pretty unbelievable. And, Brazil had a couple problems, but they still were attacking, had a lot of chances. But Mexico really held strong. Even Rafa Marquez made some nice tackles. I was definitely impressed today to get this clean sheet versus Brazil.
Justin,
Okay.
actually, I want to update it because I thought about it and I don't want to agree with Steve.
Well, the thing is, you already agree with Steve, so.
I say
Kyle's
Germany.
out. No, hold on. Kyle's out. I can't agree with Mexico being the best defense, giving up 7 excellent chances against Brazilian side. It's not good enough for me. Ochoa saved the day. The steroids carried him through. Everyone knows it. So it's going to come down to you, Sean and Kyle, to take home the crown tonight. Everyone knows Pirlo is the best center midfielder in the World Cup. Who's the best? Who is the best left back in the World Cup thus far? Sean, start with you.
No, start with Kyle.
Kyle's not in. Kyle's out.
No.
You said Kyle. Start with Steve.
Start with me.
Kyle, we'll start with you then, just because you want in. Let's go.
I'll just be quick. I like Ricardo Rodriguez, the left back for Switzerland. He had 2 assists in the first game.
Yep.
He got up and down, and he kept running up until the last minute on that play to beat Ecuador.
Okay. Steve.
Kyle took it right from me. That's exactly what I was going to say. Ricardo Rodriguez, he's a fighter, and he found the net when you need to, and that's what you need as a wing.
Mm-hmm. All right, Sean, you have a great chance to take home and steal this one. So here you go.
No, I'm not going to. I'm gonna fall on the sword on this one. DeMarcus Beasley, who I hope is going to be the best left back, because you can't play any worse than he did the other day. So I just really hope that he becomes the totally different player than what he was. Couldn't find space. He lost his man. He's going to be the main focal point of every attack of every team we play. Like I'll quote a CBA coach I once had that every team in the league was attacking our left back because they knew he was the worst. That's going to be DeMarcus Beasley for the rest of the World Cup. Let's just hope that our the center backs can keep out the balls that he lets in.
All right. Well, since Kyle wasn't even involved in that last one, I'm going to have to give it to Steve. I mean, by default, Steve wins. Steve takes the last one. Congratulations, Steve, on 4 points. On 4 points, he takes it. How many career wins is that for you, Steve?
2.
2. What about you, Sean? How many for you?
0.
That's what I thought so. And Kyle, how about you?
Goose eggs.
Ooh.
Just like your boy Ochoa.
All right, Steve. You have a minute of fame. It starts right now.
Well, I think that the U.S. can take it to Portugal. I do enjoy Rare's Homemade. I'll admit it, Kyle. Very good choice. USA takes it to Portugal because Pepe is not there anymore. I think Aaron Johnson appears as a victor, as one of our heroes on top of Mix Discarud. I'll say it again. He's going to come on and wreak some havoc and confuse Cristiano Ronaldo to the point where he'll cry. I also think that Italy will play well, but not as well as they should against Costa Rica because they tend to drop down to the level of play. No offense to Costa Rica, but they don't have as much talent as one would assume they have to beat a team like Uruguay. They're just a hard-working, disciplined team that likes to counter, but this will get pretty interesting. And like I said with the Switzerland versus France, I think Switzerland's going to come back in the 90th minute, just steal it right under the nose, and Zinedine Zidane's going to go headbutt Marco Materazzi somewhere because he'll be so upset.
All right, perfect timing, Steve. I'm sure you timed that yourself, but well done. And that does it for us with the 93rd minute, Golden Goal number 4, little World Cup review preview. Make sure you join us next week, same time, same place. All right, thanks, guys.
Take it easy.